Nancy Pratt is here with us today, and we just celebrated this past month the 30th anniversary of the Norwalk Mentor Program. It's one of the oldest programs, not only in the country, but in Connecticut. School-based mentoring is still a very important strategy. And Nancy, could you please join me and talk about what you did with the grant funds?
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate being here today. As Jill said, our program is fortunate to be among the programs that received funding, the first round of funding from the Connecticut Mentoring Fund. This has allowed us to hire a part-time assistant. It's nice to be able to have somebody else to help me out there. And it gave us the opportunity to recruit more mentors in the community. We have a lot of people from the business community. We currently have 240 students as of today that are matched with a mentor and meeting actively with their mentor. When they get together, they play games, do sports, read together, do arts and crafts, or just talk with each other. So it's really nice for them to have somebody to talk with. We were also able to make some improvements in the quality of our program. We were able to put together a new training manual for our new mentors. We were able to work on our evaluation tools so that we can see our outcomes that we're getting from young people being matched with a mentor. A quick example of one of our mentor-mentee matches, Robin and Kiera have been together for several years. When they first met, Kiera was going through some difficult family issues and struggling in middle school. They often spent their time together talking about things that were bothering Kiera. And Robin encouraged Kiera to explore her feelings and to always do her best. Fast forward to this week, I saw Kiera and Robin earlier this week, and Kiera is now a high school senior. She's an excellent student and has currently been accepted to 14 colleges. Her ultimate goal is to become a social worker. She said she wants to work with kids just like herself. And she credits her mentor with giving her the self-confidence and the drive to work hard to achieve her goals. She told me that without her mentor, she's not sure where she would be today. So we're most grateful to the Connecticut General Assembly and First Niagara for their support of mentoring in Connecticut. So hopefully funding will continue so that more programs like ours can continue to grow and to help young people in our community.
Nancy, thank you for bringing the story of Kiera forth so that we could hear that story. And we hear these type of anecdotal stories all over the state of Connecticut everywhere we go. And mentoring happens because a caring adult takes time every single week to sit with a young person, and over again, they are astounded at how much the adult cares about them, and then how much the transformation that takes place is how important it is to them. Next, I want to call up Ryan Matthews from Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters. And Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters, and what year did you start in Connecticut? 50 years, that's right. I should have known that because I went to the 50-year anniversary party that they just had last week. 50 years they've been doing mentoring in the state of Connecticut. They cover 139 towns, and Ryan is the program director, doing great work. Could you say a few words, Ryan?
Thank you, everybody. So receiving support through the Connecticut Mentoring Fund has been vital to the work of Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters. As Jill mentioned, over the last 50 years, we have delivered quality, evidence-based one-to-one mentoring services to over 65,000 children across the state of Connecticut. But to build upon this foundation of success, we have relied on the Connecticut Mentoring Fund and the Governor's Presidential Partnership to deliver increasingly vibrant opportunities for both our mentors and our mentees. Through the funding that has been made available through the Connecticut Mentoring Fund, we have been able to launch our brand new Mentor Academy, a robust evidence-based training program that has provided bigs and littles the opportunity to access invaluable training modules that help them build resiliency, navigate challenges, and generate positive outcomes for our young people. Additionally, and with the help of the Connecticut Mentoring Fund, we've also been able to expand the work of Bigs Ignite, which is a group that pools the resources of past, present, and we hope future Bigs to more holistically engage the communities that we serve across the state, enhance support for Bigs and Littles across our service area, and more robustly deliver high-quality mentoring services to the children across the state. And each of these efforts would absolutely not be possible without the help of the Connecticut Mentoring Fund. And we are incredibly appreciative of all those, especially Jill Spineti and Roland Harmon from the Governor's Prevention Partnership, Ken Walker of First Niagara, Senator Gerentana, and Representative Dillon of the Connecticut General Assembly, who have helped make this opportunity for our agency possible. Thank you so much.
So I have a couple more people to introduce you to, but I just want to point out again that this is all being done with a fund that is $71,000. A lot of things are being done with a very, very small investment. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to call up one more provider, but I also want to acknowledge others who are in the room. We have folks here from the Bridgeport Public Education Fund who drove up to be with us and doing great work there. From Plainville Community Schools, we have Dr. Maureen Brummett, the assistant superintendent and the person who runs the program there. Klingberg Family Centers and Boys and Girls Club. And the 10th program is the city of Westport, or the town of Westport. I'd now like to bring up Matt Conway and Ronnie Cadigan. And Matt is going to talk about the Rise Up group in Hartford, and Ronnie is going to share a little bit about his own story. Could you both come up together? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. So I'm sure everyone in this room can think back and name 1, 2, 3, 5 people in their lives that have helped them get to where they are today. And most likely not through a mentoring program, but just naturally the people that are around you because of the zip code you were living in, because of the family that you grew up in, or the friends that were around you. And the Governor's Prevention Partnership and the Connecticut Mentoring Fund make sure that every kid, no matter what their zip code is, has that access to these positive role models in their life. And without that support, we wouldn't be able to impact all the kids that, all the other providers have up on this, up on the podium. And the Connecticut Mentoring Fund has really helped Rise Up build a sustainable model and really start creating some operational efficiencies and best practices. We're 100% volunteer-run organization supporting 15 youth. And without that support, we would not be able to do what we do for our kids. That includes, increased GPAs. Our students volunteered over 1,000 hours last year to the Hartford community. They're also getting exposure to careers and different colleges through other mentoring programs that we're piloting. And they're really seeing measurable improvements in mentoring, and without these funds and without the continued growth from the private sector as well, we're not going to be able to achieve all the results that we have and to continue to grow. My sister sent me a text this morning that says, you may not be able to change the world, but you can change some person's world. And with the continued support here and collectively, we can all change the world by helping one individual at a time. So I'm going to turn it over to Ronnie now to kind of talk about his story and how Rise Up's impacted him. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ronnie. I recently graduated from Hartford Public High School. And I originally started Rise Up about it's coming on a year now. And when I joined Rise Up, my life was at a down spiral. I lost motivation to go to school. I wasn't going to graduate on time. Eventually I didn't, but I ended up graduating in summer. Thanks to with Rise Up, it wouldn't have been possible. They gave me the motivation to go to school and do my work and not just say whatever and not do anything. They always had my back when I was down, and whenever they were there for me, I felt loved and I felt the comfort that I needed to help strive forward. And it's not just me that Rise Up has helped. Rise Up helps a lot of people, and without you guys, this wouldn't have been possible. You guys help fund the programs throughout Connecticut, and a lot of kids in Connecticut need the help, and you guys are making it possible for them. And I speak for every kid in Connecticut, and by saying thank you for your support, and I hope you continue to support us.
Oh, Matt just told me that he's now going through training to become a mentor, so he's going to actually pay it forward. So thank you for representing the youth voice. You're a strong advocate. Really appreciate that. Thank you. I'd now like to bring up our final speaker, who is Pastor Todd, became our great friend. We met just over a year ago when we found out about a fabulous program in New Haven called Gang of Dads. We didn't really know what it was, but we certainly went right down and we were able to meet the Gang of Dads who are the mentors in the program and some of the youth. And Pastor Todd is a fabulous leader in getting this initiative up and off the ground. Before I ask him to speak, I just want to say one final thing. There are a bunch of programs that are already lined up to get more funding from the Connecticut Mentoring Fund. We're working with startup programs in urban areas, newly emerging programs. And Pastor Todd, I think maybe you could touch on that about what it takes to get a program up and off the ground. So thank you so much for being here.
So at 6:30 tonight, there's going to be about 15 young men who will be facing a judge in the city of New Haven. And from that point, they will be turned over to the New Haven Police Department. It's all good though. The judge is coming to instruct in resume writing, and he will turn it over to one of the assistant chiefs in the city of New Haven, who's going to lead a discussion on the dangers of mob or herd mentality, which has swept up more than a few young people. So, and some of these young people who will be there have seen the judge and seen the police department in a completely different light than they are going to see them tonight. So I'm confident about those who will be there tonight, but what I'm concerned about is the thousands of young people who would benefit who will not be there tonight because myself and other programs like mine have a limited capacity. Yes, it is difficult to start something up. I have a full-time job and this has become a part-time job. I wasn't bargaining for that, but it's necessary and I'm making the sacrifice, but I can only bring it so far. And I'm at a place where this is about all I can do. And I really need to be looking at ways to increase the capacity of the organization, both in terms of the provision of quality practices as well as the quantity of individuals that we can serve. That's where funds like the one we're talking about come into play. Everybody's volunteer, everybody has a great heart, but the pockets are not deep at all, and we do the best we can with what we have. And I'm just thinking of all of the additional good that we could do with a little more help. So I think that my plight is a common plight for those who are starting mentoring ministries. I'm a pastor. Excuse my lingo. It's not a ministry, actually. It's a service that we provide to the greater community. And we appreciate your help. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Pastor Todd. And Pastor Todd is at the Church of the Rock in New Haven, and we've been there as well. It's a wonderful ministry, so thank you. So thank you all for coming today. You heard from each individual up here what the need is, but what the results, more importantly, what the results are of the Connecticut Mentoring Fund. I know this year coming up is going to be another extremely tight year. There's changes on the business side and companies merging and moving. We're in another deficit situation, so it's almost counterintuitive to stand up here and ask for more funding for the Connecticut Mentoring Fund. But on behalf of all the kids that we serve, on behalf of 180,000 kids in Connecticut that need a mentor, on behalf of all of these providers that are doing this fabulous work and making the commitment with very, very little resources, please see what can be done this year. We'll work together with each one of you to make the Mentoring Fund come alive again this year. Thank you very much.